45 days ago, I started a brand new store on Shopify and it's doing amazingly well. Check this out. But first, Chipotle. Wow, it's nice out. Whoa, so here we are. I'm gonna go through everything, the profit margin, what I did, the upsells, the emails. This video is gonna be long. Get ready. It's basically gonna be an entire course going through exactly what I've done. There's still things that I have to do. I'm gonna explain those as well, but this has been going really well. The profit, let's talk about that. $1,200 on February 1st, over $3,200 on the 2nd, over $1,500 on the 3rd, and as you can see, it is starting off very strong through the month. The last time I gave you an update was through the end of January, so you haven't seen February yet. I wanted to do a complete 45-day breakdown. Again, the goal behind this brand is to get it to $100,000 a day and have it consistent with 2 sales channels, meaning 2 different ad platforms that you're gonna see me talk about inside of this video, and I'm gonna go through the entire thing. So this is the 45-day update. It's actually more like 50, but the final update that I promised. Take a look at this overview. $193,000 in sales, nearly 5,000 orders on this store in about 45 days. It's a new brand. There's a lot going on. And in this video, I'm going to basically break down every single thing that I've done, talk about the upsell structure, the price points of those upsells, the emails, the advertising, every single thing that's gone well and everything that hasn't, because there's been a total of 6 separate major issues that you're going to get to learn about in this video. So if you're trying to do anything related to e-commerce in any way at all, this video is for you. It is basically a course. I'm going to go through it all. So get ready, grab a drink, and don't forget, enter into our giveaway every single video. I'm doing 2 giveaways. All you got to do is like, subscribe, and comment down below. One person who comments in the first hour is going to win free access into our $500 e-commerce program, and another person is going to be chosen a few days later for a free custom built store. I also want to mention real quick, these strategies, the things that I do, $193,000, 4,800 orders. This is a new brand. I've had brands that start off doing better than this, and I've definitely had ones that do worse, but all those strategies and live examples you can find in our course, which is linked below. I didn't feel very fair doing this to Instagram and not to you guys as well. I'm doing the last sale ever. Final chance you can ever get. No more discounts on this program ever. It's $200 off. You can get it for $300 linked below. Let's jump right in. 193,000. What happened? Summary and overview. This brand, just like anything else, it started with some inconsistency with the profit, but the sales were coming in. So I knew there was some lifeblood behind the product. In a moment, I'm going to talk about how I find products and a couple tools that you can use, but I started scaling the ads pretty aggressively. As soon as I saw that there was some lifeblood behind it, I got the sale point to where it was basically break even every single day. So I wasn't going in the red, which means the business was sustaining itself, so I didn't have to put any more cash into it. So I scaled the ads pretty aggressively. One important point to notice, I still didn't have any great custom content. If I'm being honest, the stuff that I was using, it wasn't mine, but what I did, I would go take a bunch of different clips, mix it up, change the audio, add different things, different pop-ups. I made it very different, and I would make sure to use generalized content. It was stuff that we found through suppliers, multiple suppliers. We'd say, hey, we're thinking about working with you. Is there any videos or pictures that you have of this product? Things of that nature. So it was a mix of animated content and regular. So it wasn't that great. After things started working, I ordered $2,000 worth of new ad creatives. It was going to take at least 30 plus days for delivery, because you got to factor in, it's a custom product, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. So naturally, the creation process, it's not just put it in a box same day and fulfill it. The product has to be made. It's custom. So that process to get it shipped out takes longer. And then the shipping times weren't very favorable, because in the same time, it was still coming from China. Well, this is in the middle of Chinese New Year. So we had a 6-day gap delay right during Chinese New Year, where the manufacturer we were working with was not actually fulfilling orders. So it was kind of bad timing, no problem. I put a lot of attention on the average order value. As soon as things were working, while I was waiting for these new video ads, a lot of attention on the AOV. Okay, I did the price increase first. You might have seen in the last update video, I talked about how I raised the product price from $29.99 to $34.99. My goal, it's still not there by the way, my goal is to raise the product price to $39.99, so a total of a $10 bump from where we started. I saw no conversion change between $29 and $34. I think I might get a little kickback in terms of the $39 price point, but maybe it averages at $36, $37. The average order value is just so important. It's not really what your product sells for, it's what is the average order value. Are people ordering 2? Can you upsell them another product? Anything else like that? That's really what makes your ads super, super profitable. Okay, again, I worked on the upsells, and I charged a small fee for the shipping, which also helped boost the average order value. Then started building a proper backend. This is everything that's been going on really over the last 3 to 4 weeks. Better support, that's taken care of. That's easy because we're only doing a couple hundred orders a day tops right now. Better fulfillment. This was a bigger piece. We're going to talk about this, how I actually lowered the price and increased the quality of the product. We're going to talk about that, a new version of the product that I was able to sell because of it, and also the email marketing. I'm going to talk about the couple $1,000s a month I'm spending right now on that, and I'm going to break it all down for you. So by the way, if you're excited for this video, make sure to drop a like. I'm excited for it. I spent probably 2 or 3 hours putting this presentation together. together. I don't really do YouTube videos in a long format like this, so I really hope you appreciate it. I just wanted to go through it all. So the margin, everybody's favorite topic. Here's where it was before in the last update. So you have an extra 2 weeks added on top of it. It was at a total of a 9%. There was a lot of periods of very good profit and a lot where it wasn't very good. As you can see, net profit about 8.5%. You can see the breakdown here. A lot of people on my Instagram story and stuff asked what app this was that I was showing. It's B Profit. They're the sponsor of this video as well. You can use their discount code for 15% off linked below. But that's the profit tracking app I use for all my brands. We recommend it to clients in our agency. But you just get more of an in-depth breakdown. You can see the ad spend was a total of 63%. That's a little embarrassing. It's because of those 6 issues I mentioned. 5 of those specifically were spending problems, where the ads were spending $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a day, and randomly, and this is TikTok ads by the way, and the next day they spend $4. It's a problem that happened 5 freaking times since January 1st. 5 times. That's huge. That's not okay. Every single time you basically have to rebuild, restart, and that kills the margin. So a lot of inefficient ad spend there. Cost of goods, transaction fees, everything else was pretty fine, honestly. Now, where it is now, the past 2 weeks, got my little spelling errors there. There's gonna be a lot of those in this video. Where was the past 2 weeks? 17.5%. Okay, I just want to let that sink in for a second because so many businesses operate at a 9% margin. People might try to, downplay that and shit on it a bit, but 9%, you can make a ton of freaking money, for sure. But now I've seen it double. And so that's where we're sitting at average right now. Part of that is because the ads have been a little bit more stable, a little bit more optimized. Also the slightly lower product cost, which I'm going to talk about. But seeing a double in the profit margin, I mean, it's mind-boggling. Most businesses, it takes so long to fight and battle for 0.5%. Now they're a little bit more stabilized. E-commerce, you just get more control. So you can see this here. Net profit, 17.5%. Ad spend went down a little bit, less problems. We only had one spending issue in February. Okay, again, this is February so far. The ad spend, 55%. A little bit better. Cost of goods, take a quick notice, it went down 20%, 20.78 compared to 23.4. So some of those orders were fulfilled with the previous pricing, and we're going to talk about the slight price discount I got now. So you'll see cost of goods slightly drop. That all increases the margin, which is hugely helpful. Here's a generalized overview of what it looks like in the B Profit dashboard. Again, check them out. It's a cheap, super good app. You can check it out linked below. $24,000, that's gross profit. That basically means before operational expenses, which right down here is other expenses. That would include like your Shopify store fee, any apps and things of that nature. So just factor that in. This is basically over the last 50 days, give or take, since this really got started. So you can kind of see it week over week. There was periods where it was negative, where I was like trying to run a lot of stuff and test a lot of things. That's like the normal cycle. And then the ad spending issues that just kept giving problems. And now towards the end right now, as of when I'm filming this, the new ads are launched. The $2,000 I spent on new creatives. We're going to talk about that. I got 19 custom, completely different video ads with actors hired and everything. A lot of them are still similar, but 19 completely different videos. 19 videos that are now launched. Every single one of those. A lot of those have been killed and turned off and kind of finding the groups of ones that work. But so the ad spend was scaled way back. Okay, so I just want to point that out. So $193,500 in total sales, almost 200 grand with about 22,000 in profit. So 11.4% was the total net after everything calculated correctly. That is the exact profit in total. In total, the lifetime, this entire challenge series, whatever you want to call it here on YouTube, that's the net profit. One thing I want to point out, we left the tip box turned on here through Shopify. We get $1,900 in tips. I want to point that out. I've never turned on a tip box. I've never had it on any store, and it was kind of interesting. People throw like a $1 or $3.50. A lot of people round it to a whole number, and they'll just tip you. Again, really not a big deal, but it's an extra 1%, and it doesn't take any difficulty. So maybe that's something new there you could test out. Cost of goods. Okay, you'll see that again comes out to about 25%. That'll slightly drop over time. This number is going to get diluted the further we go, and we should see this net profit over the next 45 days get pulled back up nicely towards that 17.5%. I'd really like to see it in the 20s. That's the goal. Ad spend 1.6 ROAS, give or take. Not tracking 100% accurate, but very dang close. 120,000 in ad spend. This number should have been below 100,000 in terms of the ratio between ad spend to sales. That's typically what you'll see, especially when you're doing a lot of tests, launching a lot of new things, building data, scaling aggressively, etc. So So yeah, it is what it is, but those inconsistent spending issues, it's still better on TikTok to have your spending issues happen than be disabled over on Facebook, which isn't even a platform that I've started for this yet. So let's talk about how to find products. I want to talk about this product a little bit. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is right now. Maybe I will once I hit the goal of $100,000 a day. But how to find products, just some general things you can do. Optimize your social media feed. This means whenever you come across a physical product that has a lot of engagement, a lot of likes, a lot of comments on the videos, engage with it. Click it, comment, go add it to cart, and then back out. You're going to start getting targeted not only more by that brand and any retargeting they're doing, but also other similar good performing ads, because the platform is now categorizing you as somebody who's an engaged shopper to some degree. So they're going to start sending you the best performing ads to try and get you to actually convert, because they know you didn't purchase. If you really want to be that guy, go ahead and start buying every single thing that comes your way. Now, the second one, by the way, you can do that for TikTok. TikTok's my favorite one to do it just because, I mean, so much engagement on there. Facebook, Instagram, those are the three best platforms to do that on. But best sellers on Amazon, eBay, and AliExpress. Keep in mind the timeline, because there's a lot of things that, you know, like you go on AliExpress and look up fidget spinners, for an example. Huge sales volume. But that was a long time ago. That's not really a product you could sell too well, I imagine, right now. So just keep things in mind. Look at kind of the relevancy of it. If you want, you can jump on Google Trends and look at the actual search volume behind certain products and keywords. Those are other things you can do, but cross-reference between all three of these. You know, look on Amazon and eBay and AliExpress for the same product. If you find something interesting, just get a sense of the feedback. What do the reviews look like? You know, what are the standard pricing? What's the standard shipping time? There's a lot of research you can do on those general platforms. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And then ask dropshipping agents what their top sold products are. Some of them won't really give you too much feedback, but multiple of the agents that I've used, and you can do this as well, I guess, with people that you haven't used, multiple dropshipping agents that fulfill orders will tell me, because they know that I'm really good at the advertising and I've brought them huge sales volume, they'll straight up just tell me what their best sellers are. And they'll tell you, oh, this person's doing, you know, 800 orders a day at $70 with the Theragun, you know, that massage gun. You know, they're crushing it with that. Here's how much we're sourcing it for, and here's a little bit of info of what they're doing. Like, you can get a lot of feedback just by talking to suppliers, okay? So dropshipping agents are probably your best bet for that, not some AliExpress supplier, okay? Pricing the product. This was really important for me because I wanted to start, this is what I always do, I start a little bit lower, just a little bit, right? A little bit lower. I try to get some sales coming in, because if it's not gonna sell for, you know, 29 bucks, why would it sell for 39, right? That's kind of my logic there. So I just wanna have a very less resistant barrier to entry is what I like to think about it, so some sales can start coming in. I want people to buy. I'm not, you know, shoving a $3 shipping down their throat right away. It's free shipping. I just want to get the ball rolling. I want to get the ad account warmed up, okay? Pricing products. Start low, like I just said. Slowly increase over time. Just note that if you're running ads on a platform that has a pixel, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, you know, Google ads, whatever it is, right? If there's a pixel involved, basically, unless you're running influencer marketing on any platform, any big price bump will affect your ad optimization. That's something a lot of people don't realize. So keep that in mind, just because if you're bumping your price by more than $2 to $3, I've noticed it actually can perfect ad performance the next day. Usually it stabilizes out. But so if you're going to do a big bump of like $3, it's better to just do 5 or try a 7, depending on the price point of your product, just to try and like not have to do 2 of those where you go through 2 separate phases of being unoptimized. So that's one point. Number 2, look at Amazon pricing. It's always great if you can beat Amazon's pricing. That is not always the case. A lot of people are like, oh, well, I get the product for 11 and Amazon sells it for 16. I can't sell this product. I'll tell you from experience that you can sell stuff for more than Amazon is selling it for. It's not a problem. It's not really comparable. People always say, oh, well, why wouldn't they go to Amazon? Think about the last time you bought something cool. Did you go double check the price point on every major website? Some of you probably did. I know one of you 2 cheap mofos definitely did. I don't do it. I've never done it. The only time I think I've actually considered doing that is when I was looking to buy something very, very expensive. Not a $30 trinket or $19 gizmo. People just, they're not thinking about that because they think it's you. It's your brand. They want that one that they saw through the ads. They don't want to risk anything being different, right? So just keep that in mind. Amazon pricing, I like to at least look at it. A good rule of thumb is 3x your sourcing costs. In no way, shape, or form do I have to stick to this rule. All of these are bendable. All of these are situational. Again, just think about that, especially when you're starting the price lower and you probably don't have the best fulfillment. You might be, 2x or 2.2, but a good rule of thumb is 1/3 of your revenue is going to go to the product fulfillment, 1/3 is going to go to the ad spend, and the 1/3 is going to be profit. Okay, obviously there's operational operational expenses and other things in there. But over time, as you scale, it can get diluted. So just keep that in mind. Your product costs will go down, your ad costs might go up, other things might get optimized better. It's just things to keep in mind. So that's a good target to hit, some basic rule of thumb that I like to be at. Average order value is the most important number, which brings us to the next slide we're going to talk about in one moment. But again, average order value is so crucial. It is not, I repeat, it is not what your product is selling for. If you sell for 25 bucks, but your average order value is in the 40s, that is drastically different. Your advertising is going to look completely different, and everything else that you do is going to be very different. It makes a huge difference in a great way. Okay, the offer. This brings us to the next point, like I just mentioned. Basic discounts work the best for me. This has been consistent with my marketing over the last 5.5 years, 6 years. I do a lot of discounts, 20% off, 50% off, 60% off. I don't like to be the guy that's like 90% off, you know, like this product's normally $280, get it for 20. It just doesn't work. It's so unbelievable. I do a basic sale, a basic discount. I don't have any crazy countdown timer or anything on the site or on the checkout. It's pretty simple. Certain products can do fantastic with a quantity break or a bundle. Again, if you go to Amazon, you see that under every single product you're purchasing, they have what's called a frequently bought together. They're trying to get you to bundle from one product and make it 3 in total. So they're finding stuff that gets paired pretty well with that. So just keep in mind a quantity break, like let's say you're selling supplements or any sort of product that, and you'll see another video of mine of a new brand that has a subscription component because it's a product that runs out. Well, you can sell quantity breaks because they're gonna need it at some point. So it just depends on the product you're selling. Do a compare app price on your store. Like I just said, for a basic discount, I'm gonna say this product's normally 50, that is slashed out, and then it says right now you can get it for 25. That's a basic 50% off discount. You're gonna mention that in your ad. That'll help push a little bit more conversions. It's more of a direct offer, okay? Test new offers on your store once you achieve a level of scale that gives you extra profit. For an example, when, I'll go back up here for a second, when this store started making consistent money, I'm launching new stuff, okay? I didn't get around to launching a bunch of new things, but new offers. I tried different upsells where I was trying to sell another one of the same product. People really didn't seem to like that very much. Tried selling a similar product. It just didn't catch on that much. I'm actually still trying to find the perfect upsell for this one. The average order value is right at like $40, $41 on a good day. It's just not that high. I really want to see it in the mid 40s. So I really need a good second offer to pair with that, okay? So that's a little bit about the compare app price side of things and testing new offers in general. Those are just basic things you can do to help increase your conversion rate, everything like that, okay? The upsells. Let's talk about exactly what's been going on here. This is a massive point, really helps boost your average order value. Upsells alone, I've had stores where I break even on the front end, and only because of the upsells do I make profit, and it's a healthy profit. So, you know, all these points are really important, okay? Typically, from a standard number, I'm adding about 7 to 8% in top line revenue, okay? That is direct to the top line total gross sales on the store by having proper upsells. I have seen it as high as 20. It really just depends on the price of the product, the price of the upsell, you know, how good it's converting. You know, some products, there's just not anything great to upsell. There's not a lot that you can do, you know, like on a car at a dealership, they're upselling warranties and like tire servicing and, you know, whatever. There's a lot of things they can do. It just depends, you know, so different industries, very different. This one is 7 to 8%, a little low. It should be 10 to 15%. Again, I still haven't found a great upsell. I've been trying. So as you can see, this can drive a ton of your profits. Here's an actual screenshot from the app that I use. This is one of the primary apps, Candy Rack, not sponsored in any way, but truly a great app, just like Be Profit. The last 30 days, a 1.7% take rate, okay? Keep focused on this because that is the take rate, which is crazy. $12,100 in total upsells. Now, keep this in mind for a second. 1.7% actually took an upsell. That's disgustingly low. But $12,000 was upsell revenue out of 193. It's not bad, off just a 1.7% take rate. So keep that in mind. The upsell itself, people were adding higher value products because it had such a low take rate. So the actual volume of people taking it wasn't very high, but out of 193,000, it's not that bad, right? So the upsells can make a huge difference. I always recommend people test upsells, do a lot of different stuff, and add it on the store because it definitely makes a huge difference. So that's the upsell. Now let's talk about the upsell structure. So the app that I was using there is called Candy Rack. I know people are gonna ask, so I figured I'd put it out there. Another one you can use is reconvert. One thing to notice is the different placement of the upsell. You can do an upsell right when somebody's adding something to their cart. You can do an in-cart upsell. You can, like a checkout one. You can also do a post-purchase. That really makes things difficult depending on your payment processing. So look at those different ones. You could also have multiple in there. So that's another thing. Frequently bought together, that's another app. Again, kind of more the Amazon style there is how I like to think about it. And then bundler, okay? This is another one for quantity breaks. So for an example, I know somebody who sells supplements. It's not through Shopify, but they use an app that is the same exact thing as bundler. And I mean, their average value is like 5 bottles of supplements when their front end offer is just 1. They upsell 1, then a 3-pack, then a 10-pack, and then it's ridiculous, right? So it can work really well. It just depends. A little bit more about the structure here. I like to have a 3-prong upsell. This is why I really like Candy Rack as an app for it, just because it looks really good with multiple options. Number 1 is what I call a floor price.
NFT.
So this is your cheap one. I want as many people as possible to take it. It could be a warranty, a 2-year warranty for the product. It could be a small little cleaning kit for your camera lens. It could be anything that ideally has next to no or zero product cost. A digital thing, like for an example, a warranty. It doesn't cost you anything. You're probably going to take care of your customers anyway, but then you could tag their order and have a little 2-year thing. So when you go back and look at their order, if they have a problem, you just make sure you take care of them. So things like that, $0 CTF, that would just make things very easy in terms of the margin. So if I'm selling a $30 product, I want something for like $2.99 that a lot of people will take. It's all about volume. 75% price match. This is how I like to think about it. Usually I'm upselling the same product just on a discount. That's something I'll do. So get another, save 20% or save 25%, or something that's a little bit cheaper. Like let's say I'm selling you I don't even know. Let's say I'm selling you gloves for the winter for $40 and let me buy a hat for $30, right? Something that kind of matches, a little bit less in price, you get a little less resistance, and then you try something that's either the same price or higher. It just depends on what you're selling. You might have something that you can sell for $150. I don't know. Throw it in there, see if it works, see if people take it. But this kind of gives you 3 different options to try 3 price points. You're not overloading people with too many options. A good book you could read on this is The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz. Finding that from a marketing perspective, 2 to 3 options is the most effective. Anything more than that, and people really tend to not make a decision at all. You don't want to give them 1, you don't want to give them 17, right? Somewhere in that middle, 2 to 3 is probably the best option, okay? So that's the upsell structure. The ads, like I mentioned, I got to be honest, they were mashed clips. A lot of people do this strategy. It's just what I do with product testing, just like this product, okay? I was testing multiple products. This one had, I think at one point, 4 different products running ads for at the same time is what I was running. So I was in there launching different things, testing, seeing what works. All of them were getting sales. One of them was drastically unprofitable. One of them was close. I could never really get it too consistent. And then the main one was just took off, even with really crappy ads that weren't really mine. So the second round of ads, I ordered the same product, the same exact product off Amazon. So that way it would come a little bit quicker. Problem was, it's still a custom product, so it still wasn't that fast. So while I was waiting for some samples, I'm going ahead, like for my samples, I'm waiting, I'm like filming little videos, little clips. So I'm mixing my clips that are not very good into the other videos just to get some different variations. TikTok has a very high turnover rate when it comes to your videos. You got to be launching new videos all the time. That's the only way to stay optimized. Third round of ads, those were my ads, things that I tried to film my entire self or have somebody film with. I'm talking about like the one that I ordered off Amazon on my phone. I'm posting it to TikTok for the store and running some of those as Spark posts. So a Spark ad is a version of ads that you can run through TikTok where you're basically running it directly to a post that is authorized on a TikTok page. This allows you to build a lot more engagement on it. It's very similar to an advertising strategy on Facebook, and it just builds a lot of natural social proof on the page as well. So that's one good option you could look into. And then the fourth round, an investment of $2,000 plus, which is cool because the business was sustaining itself. That $2,000 came right out of the profits, just straight off the top to kick things off. Again, like I mentioned, 19 customs, semi-similar. They were all different in some way, but same couple actors being rotated through, etc. So 19 different videos for TikTok only. Those got launched on February 16th, so the day after this update cuts off. So as of when I'm filming this, a few days ago, they got launched. So that's the advertising strategy in terms of like the 4 different prongs I had where I was using mixed clips and then tried to mix in my own stuff and then making my own stuff that wasn't that great and then launching new stuff that's fully custom. So usually that process is a little quicker to get completely custom content, but because the product is personalized, makes it a lot more difficult to film ads with because it wouldn't make sense if it's somebody who's not involved in the product. I don't want to give away what the product is, but it's just custom, so it just takes time, okay? The fulfillment side of things, let's talk about this. This is a huge piece, especially where a lot of people are, I can't drop ship, drop shipping doesn't work, it's giving me shipping time problems or whatever. here's some simple things you can do. And by the way, I give supplier recommendations, different dropshipping agents, as well as a third-party platform that you can use. I give all those inside of the e-commerce course. So I don't know when you're watching this video, but as of when I'm posting it, you have 3 days to claim that $200 off on the program. It's like, that'd be like $25,000 to $30,000 worth of information you'd have to pay me in terms of the amount of time one-on-one to learn it that I put together in a course for a couple $100. That's the reason why it's there, is because I don't like people asking beginner questions over and over again. So that takes you A to Z through everything, get your ads scaled up, get money coming in. That's the goal of it. And then somebody could come to me for one-on-one to scale. That's kind of the whole purpose of the course. So be sure to check that out. The fulfillment, personalized product, again, so every single thing is different. I can't reiterate that enough. Apparently, it's not standard drop shipping, so it's a little bit different. No, I don't have a warehouse for this and the machines needed to make it yet. If it does really well and the margins are there and it's stable, I might consider that, but we're talking about probably a six-figure investment to do that. So, weigh the options here. We're working with suppliers. We can buy the base product in bulk and have that sitting there and have a manufacturer ready to go. So, you can do partial inventory. It's a little bit different though. But again, due to the custom nature of the product, it's actually made having a slightly longer delivery process, which I normally hate, which is like 15 to 20 days. Like for me, that's too long. If you're doing normal dropshipping, that's ridiculous. You're gonna have complaints. But it's made it not a problem because people understand it's custom. They understand that there's work that goes into that product. So there's just a natural understanding. So the limited amount of feedback, the feedback that we've gotten, very limited amount of it has been poor quality feedback. People are pretty happy with the product, reasonably understanding about the delivery time. Now it's at a 12-day. With the new supplier that we're working with, the new structure, it's going to be 12 days. So that's an average. It might be 10, it might be 13, depends on where they are, what's going on, how many orders we have, but around 12 days. So under 2 weeks with the new fulfillment, which is huge. Now you're finally in that range where for drop shipping that's acceptable. You're not going to have too many complaints. Factor that in with the personalized product, shouldn't have any complaints at all. Well, obviously there's always some. Now the huge bonus point here, by actually doing that, by getting faster, better shipping with somebody I actually trust way more, that I've spent a lot more money with, I'm getting a $2 per unit. This is insane for a product that the previous fulfillment was about $11. Okay, that I was selling for $29.99. Now it's $34.99. Eventually maybe $39, but $35, right? I was following that 3x rule, but now going from fulfillment cost of just under $11 to like high eights, $8.50, $8.60, depending on the exact variant. That's insanely cheap. Now we're approaching a 3.5 x. So it makes it a lot better. This will assist with scaling, definitely, just in terms of having a higher margin, which will help me be able to spend more on ads and still remain profitable. So that makes the scaling process easier. That's fulfillment. It's hugely important. There's a lot of people out there in the drop shipping space that they don't really care about this, especially with TikTok ads. And don't let me give you any bad ideas. Please don't do this. But I do know people that don't fulfill. People come to me saying, hey, I have a 70% margin because I haven't been fulfilling the orders. They're like bragging about it. They're like, can you help me scale? I'm like, no. But it's crazy to see because Facebook has crazy feedback stuff that they've implemented over the last 2 years. TikTok is still a newer platform. It's lawless. They don't have anything like that. So if you have, 60% of your customers complaining, you could probably still be running ads. You're not going to get taken down like that, like you would on Facebook. So it's just one of those things where people are kind of abusing the platform, and it's going to cause more issues for regular advertisers for sure. So not cool, guys. But it's just one thing. The fulfillment is super important. If you want something sustainable, because that model is never sustainable. If you want a real business that's sellable, that's worth a damn, that is worth any amount of pennies, you have to have a real system in place. Okay. Now the emails, one of the last main things that I've been working on here more recently, email marketing. At first, it was nothing, just a confirmation email. Then, once the store was consistent, I made a simple 3 email sequence to bring in more returning customers. I mean, it took me like 35 minutes, like 10 minutes an email, boom, boom, couple sentences, little discount code. That's it. Like the goal there is just get some people coming back who've already bought before. And the reason I waited to do this is it doesn't really make sense to invest a ton of time in doing that around a product that's not yet profitable. But now that it was at like 200 orders, I was doing maybe 250 orders, 300 on a big day. Now there's some people that could be cycled through those lists and actually receive the emails. So that was what happened. And now I hired an expert, somebody I know and have worked with and referred a lot of business to build a real sequence. So he has like an extensive sequence, both for abandoned cart flow as well as for post-purchase, meaning for people who abandon their cart, didn't buy, but also for people who do buy. Those are 2 totally different types of customers. You have to approach them differently. And they do 3 emails every single week and SMS marketing for $2,000 a month. Normally it's a little bit more than that, but again, we're from a lot of business. I do a lot of stuff. I mean, that's a no-brainer payment. I think that just the first month alone will pay for the 3 months. months. So, like the first 3 months of that. So it's pretty easy just to get the ball rolling. It's important to build those systems because now I own that in perpetuity. All the systems, the automated stuff, which isn't, again, anything too aggressive, but the automated sequences, I own that. That's mine. I didn't pay him a setup fee again just because I refer him so much business. But if I want to stop paying $2,000 a month at any point, then it would just be on me to send out the SMS stuff through text message, as well as those emails, which would be 3 times a week to the newsletter. So again, I'm paying $2,000 a month for all that stuff, 12 emails to the list, a bunch of SMS texts. It's pretty cheap, so it's one of those great ways to automate it. So emails has been huge, really helpful for the back end, returning customers and building a brand. Now let's talk about the branding. This is crucial because if you're trying to build a long-term e-commerce store, I always recommend putting in the work to do the branding because the ROI is totally not there in the beginning. You're spending a lot of time and a lot of effort, maybe even some money to do it in the beginning. But over time, you'll notice, oh, wow, today was a little bit nicer. We sent out an email, it did well. We made a post on social media, we got 6 extra sales. Little tidbits, right? You're planting the seed, but down the road, it's like you are going to have a very, very high margin, a high returning customer rate, an engaged following, and it'll be like blowing your mind. I've never had it, personally, I have never had it like properly good, so that's why I put a lot of attention on this one. I've had it pretty good, but nothing crazy. But in terms of building a brand for the purpose of selling it, which I might at some point do with this, I'm building it to make sure it is sellable. That's a goal. I want to put in this work. So, rapid fire list of things to do if you're looking to brand a Shopify store or any sort of e-commerce brand, all right? Number 1, a faded watermark on all your ads. When I started ordering the custom ads, I got those 19 videos. Each of those has a watermark. It's not like too crazy or freaking stretch the whole screen. It's just something minimal in the upper corner, and it moves around. So sometimes you'll have if it's a 9-second video, 6 seconds, and then it jumps into the middle for the last 3. Little things where it would make it very difficult for somebody to cover it up or crop over it. It would make it very easy to tell kind of what they're trying to do, and it just wouldn't look good. So you can do different things like that. Again, from a branding perspective, when people try to rip you off. I'm not saying if, I'm saying when. When people rip off your ads, because they will when it's working, I promise you that, your name is usually still going to be out there. And people are going to always look to you as the leader in that industry typically. So just something you can do to protect yourself. Instagram page, huge. I don't post on there as much as I do on the TikToks because you get a lot more organic stuff going on TikTok. But Instagram, throw up a post once or twice a week. The focus with any emails or branding on social media, I never try to just sell. If you just pitch, it usually doesn't work too well. TikTok page is the biggest one right now. New platform, very organic, very viral. You can get videos with, I have a student that I was working with. I helped him scale his ads from 2,000 a day to about 140,000 a day. He's come down a little bit off of there. That was over the Black Friday peak. He's 19 years old. I think he's buying his second rental property right now, just in the last 3 months. He's making, over $1 million a month. It's in revenue. It's absolutely crazy with a very healthy margin, instant, multi-million-dollar salary from his business. And what he's done on just the TikTok page is huge. He's got, so many videos, dozens of them with like 3 million views, 8 million views, 6 million views. And while it's not exactly the highest quality views, it's not directly bringing in tens of thousands. Oh my gosh, is that a lot of social proof? And oh my gosh, does it bring in sales for sure? So it's just one of those things. Now he's also verified with hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok, which is going to help his brand get verified on Instagram eventually, which is just one of those things. Now it's so legitimate, and he's not even running Facebook ads. So imagine running Facebook ads from a verified Instagram. You get the idea. It's also worth a lot more when you got a social media following that's real, active, and engaged. So TikTok page, huge one for sure. Running Spark ads, again, making the Spark posts. Spark ads are a huge thing through TikTok. You can definitely check that out once you're actually running ads. Email newsletter, value, not just selling, like I just mentioned, kind of a key point there. Custom packaging, big one. Once you get things rolling, you're going to have to order that in advance. Even if you're still drop shipping, you're going to order your custom packaging in advance. That has to be there ready to go. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. I don't think I'm missing anything else, but that's some of the things that I've been working on. I'm just trying to create a good customer experience. That's really all it is. Come at it from that perspective, like what would I do if I'm a customer, right? I work with a few people one-on-one, usually on a quarterly or every 2-month basis, because it usually takes about 2 months to go through the coaching that I do. And multiple of the people, you'd be surprised, they've never ordered from their own website. So how would you know what the customer experience is? Yes, you created the site, you created everything, you created the experience, but you haven't been through it. You designed and built a damn roller coaster and you've never ridden it. Think about that for a second. You designed and built a roller coaster and you've never ridden it. And yet you think you know how the customer feels. Can we just stick on that one for a second? I want to say it one more time. You designed and built a roller coaster, but you've never ridden it, and you think you know how your customer feels. You don't. So order from your own site, do it off your phone, do it on an incognito tab, have your buddy do it and look over his shoulder while he's doing it. Anything like that, it is crucial that you know what that customer experience is so you can improve it. Without knowing that, you can't do anything. It's so important, and that will instantly set you apart from, literally I can tell you from experience, 95% of dropshippers. And probably 90% of people in the e-commerce space in general. So order from it and actually care about that customer experience. Most people just don't. In fact, I had one guy I was working with one-on-one that I actually refunded like 90% of his money to because we'd already done a little bit of the time. I said, I don't want to work with you. He refused, basically. I kept telling him, I'm like, dude, I'm not going to repeat the same thing 10 times over on a call. You're done. We're done. I don't want to work with you. And I'll do that because he's just an idiot, for lack of better terms. He was having problems with his ads, where the ads were running, they were running the right way, they were spending money, and zero sales were coming in. And he was refusing to order from his own website, basically. He's like, no, it's good. I made sure. I said, I can almost guarantee you that your checkout is not turned on properly and that people cannot order. Still wouldn't do it. I'm like, dude, make a discount code if it's really that big of a problem for 99% off and order from your own store. And just kept like, I'm like, whatever, dude. So, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So please, order from your own store, especially when things are going, understand the customer experience. Scalability. Let's talk about this brand specifically, what's going on here. It's done about $200,000 plus in sales. I want to talk about the scalability of it, how it'll do, at least a couple $1 million. The goal is 8 figures this year, 10 plus million just from this brand. I don't think that's out of reach. You just got to be good at the advertising, okay? Scalability. Number one, look at your TAM. What is the total addressable market? You should always understand this before you get into an industry. So if you want to get into, like the camera industry, there's already major players. Now for me, I'm not big on electronics. For me to buy this new camera that I got, by the way, let me know if you like the video quality and stuff. I think it looks pretty good. But I wasn't going to go with some brand that I didn't know. And I was definitely going to follow the recommendation of somebody that I trust. And that's exactly what I did. I'm like, what's the best thing? And they sent me a link. Boom, I bought it. It's a Sony A60-100 or something. Like, it's a very reputable brand. It's Sony. So if you're trying to start something in there, large total addressable market, how difficult and how expensive would it be to break into that market though? That's one thing to think about. So what's that total addressable market? How big is it? And then the question built off of that, if it's like, okay, it's a large market, I think I can break into it, I have a lot of cool products that I can sell. Well, can you reach those people profitably on the front end? Okay, here's the question. Just from, I spent $1,000 today on ads, can I make $2,000 and $400 of that goes in my pocket? Yes or no? Okay. If yes, great, fantastic. You have a great business model, you're making money on the front end. Realize and understand that most businesses don't. And I think this is where a lot of people get hung up, because I had, another coaching student. I like to give these examples, people that I work with, because I've seen it, I've been there. This guy was like getting frustrated with me. And like just at advertising in general, like he was really frustrated at his results. He was like 3 weeks into running his business. 3 weeks, okay, it's a baby, it's a day old. 3 weeks into it, and he was spending like $400 a day and making $500, and his product cost is about $100. But he was breaking even every single day. And he was like really mad, this doesn't work. We got to switch something up. I'm like, dude, it's working. What? Like, you're building data, your ads are not good, we're waiting on better ads, your website looks like a donkey's ass. Like, you got to think about all these things, and they just want to stop and give up. Again, another thing that separates people who actually make money with business and stuff. Most people don't make money on the front end. They understand the LTV, the lifetime value of a customer. And that's where things like branding and social media and email marketing and upsells are hugely important in a business. Because most businesses like Netflix, do you think they're acquiring a customer for less than $9? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because the amount of general mass media marketing that they go to, billboards on the sides of taxis, maybe a Super Bowl commercial, the amount of advertising they do is massive, because they know their stick rate. They know people are going to stay with them for 9 months or 12 months or whatever it is on average, so they can spend a huge portion of that just to get the customer. It's just like how a company like ClickFunnels can spend $149 or whatever Russell said the number was, just to get a free trial. Because they know how long business owners stick with their software. So think about those things. The second question off of this, if you cannot reach those customers profitably on the front end, is there an increased LTV that you can achieve on the back end, or are you going to change direction? Again, that's what I wanted to bring up in this point. Understand that business is not all about that first touch sale, and most people in the e-commerce industry, number one, are younger, so they don't understand that, and they just haven't grown enough in the business space because it's their first crack at something, and they're just looking at what's happening today. There's a bigger picture there in business, and it was tough. I mean, for me, this is not like a call out on anybody. It happened to me for many years. It was all about how much am I spending today, how much did I make today. It was always a today view. But when you can build out an actual system with the business, that's what creates enterprise value, first of all, but that's also what lets you scale. Okay, some businesses you just won't be profitable on the front end. Okay, sometimes it means you don't want to be involved. That's okay. But think about those things. Returning customers numbers, massive. Google ads have started for this brand of mine. This is now talking about a personal side of things. For this brand up here, let me go back over here. Google ads have been probably $1,500 of the sales. It started recently. I'm not the one doing it. I hired somebody to do it. They're just going to be getting, I think, 25% of the total tracked sales in the profit sense. So in terms of whatever they're running the ads for, we took an average profit metric that's an average for the store. I took that average. They're going to get 25% of the profits that are generated through what is tracked on the ad account. So for me, no risk. I'm just running ad spend. They're experts at what they do, definitely better than me at Google ads specifically. And now I get to have another sales channel, another vertical where I'm not involved. So that's crucial. That's the scalability side of things. Moving forward on this brand specifically, I'd like to overcome the few issues that I'm still facing right now and scale to 100,000 a day, which is the original goal. I'll keep you updated along the way, but it's a great brand that I'm excited to have inside my portfolio. It's one of those things. I've even started potentially buying equity. I've done this in one so far, but looking to buy equity in other e-commerce brands to add into the portfolio. Some people are also giving me equity, 40%, 50%, 60%, depending on what's going on and what the numbers are. And then I can help automate it, run it. A lot of people, they've gone through a couple courses, got good at ads. They're doing 50,000 a month with 12,000 in profit, and they don't really know how to scale or build a system behind that. So I can come in there, put some stuff in the back end, and 10x it from the advertising perspective. And so they're basically automated. They're an operator, so it just depends on what you're trying to do. So if you have a brand making a lot of money and want to talk about coaching or possibly partnering on something, definitely reach out to me on Instagram. Now, a quick resources list for you guys. Again, Be Profit, thank you for sponsoring this video. It is truly a great app. It was something that I used before they sponsored this video. I've been using it the whole time on this store, as well as others. It's a tool and resource we recommend to about 20-something clients that work with us inside of our advertising agency, where we manage their advertising. So we recommend that as a tool, just so you know your profits. You can save 15% with the code that they gave us, linked down below. That is not an affiliate link. I don't get any cut of that. It's not, it's not an affiliate link. I just want to point that out. My course, also, you can check out the only public training I have available. I put what would, again, cost about $25,000 minimum through coaching, through the time that would be involved to go through it, into videos for $500. Okay, it's the best thing. Best to start with that. Covers 90% of things, basically. Some of the stuff you can't really get through in a course. You got to go one-on-one once you're making money. But start to finich, same thing. Like for me with real estate, I went through a ton of courses, talked to a ton of people, and now that I'm actually involved with it, I'm paying people a lot more money and going in person to learn one-on-one. So it just depends. But in terms of the e-commerce course, again, $200 off for the next 3 days. If you're watching this after that, it's $500. It's an easy course. Nobody's making a lot of money off that. It's a very simple resource that you can use to get started. For us, that's a funnel into our advertising agency. And I guess if anybody else wants to do one-on-one coaching, which usually the goal for coaching for me is to identify a couple of businesses that I can buy equity in. Basically, that's the point. So, and then in terms of coaching, if you have a bigger budget, maybe ads running already, a store or a brand making money, and you want one-on-one help, just DM me on Instagram. My team will get back to you, kind of run you through a little bit of the specifics, what I look for, what the structure is. That doesn't cost $500. It's a lot more expensive than that. So I just want to put that out there. But, it just depends. Those are different resources you can use. There's a lot of stuff. There's this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't even know how long this was, but I wanted to kind of break this down, start to finish, 60 plus slides. Let's go through this. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of it was like things one by one, but pricing products, the offer, the upsells, the structure, the ads, the fulfillment, the emails, the branding on that side of things, the scalability, talking about the TAM, the total addressable market, and what I'm doing moving forward. That is an exact look into my e-commerce brand with what's going on there, how it made over $20,000 in profit in the first 45 to 50 days with almost $200,000 in sales. Not the best thing, not the worst thing, but I'm going to keep you updated as things roll forward. Maybe a month by month update, not too frequently, but I'll definitely let you know. So again, don't forget to enter into the giveaway. All you got to do is like, subscribe, comment, and be sure to follow me here, follow me on Instagram. If you want coaching, courses, Be Profit, all that stuff is linked below, and you can always find the information somewhere. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.